Hello, I'm Kintai Chidi. I'm a therapist as well as a co-active coach, and I specialize in the applied coaching and therapy area. Today, I'm going to talk about the second series of the course, Into Crisis, Onto Champion, Building Characters. Last week, we talked about the importance of having a growth mindset. We talk about how a fixed mindset is different from a growth mindset. That in order for us to become a champion, we need to first of all decide that we want to have a growth mindset. And we talk about the 5 characteristics, or rather the 5 benefits of having the growth mindset. In terms of challenges, a growth mindset will be able to embrace challenges and not avoiding them. In terms of setback, they will be persistent in the face of setback and they will not give up. In terms of efforts, our growth mindset will always see effort as a path of mastery. That every effort they put in is not going to waste, because every effort they put in is a strength developed. But for a fixed mindset, a person will think that, well, all the effort I put in will be fruitless if it's not getting the result I want it to be. In terms of feedback, a growth mindset always learn from criticism and from feedback. They will not ignore them because they know that knowing about mistake is a way to grow. And finally, a person having growth mindset will always engage themselves and involve themselves in a community that can inspire them. But instead, they will not see a community as something that is threatening. When they see the success of people, they get threatened. Today we talk about joy. And to talk about joy, let's define the word joy. But first of all, there's a difference between joy and happiness. Now, what is happiness? According to the dictionary definition of happiness, it's a state of well-being, a pleasurable or very satisfying experience. But in terms of joy, the dictionary said that the word joy was derived from the word rejoice. It's to feel great delight, to welcome, to be glad. In the most popular books, best-selling books in the world, the Bible, in fact, in the Bible translation, the word happy or any related word with the word happiness, it occurs 30 times. But the word joy or rejoice appear over 300 times. In the Greek word for happy is this word called makarios. It means happy, blessed, to be envied, receiving benefit. The Greek word for joy is kara. That means joy, gladness, linked forward with the awareness of grace and of forgiveness. As you can see, there's a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness derives from things outside, on some materialistic pleasure or worldly pleasure. It's centered on the self, your own self-pleasure or benefit. While joy is derived from a soul, from within you, an emotional well being. So we can say that happiness comes from the outside and joy comes from the inner self. So now we know joy is different from happiness. Today, we need to ask ourselves, what makes people happy? Receiving something that you like or desire, achieving money, riches, or going for a holiday at an exotic place, or able to be able to meet with your loved one, or successful in career, or your effort in being acknowledged by your boss. Wow, you feel happy. Now, those are happiness. But let's look at a video about happiness. Happiness is external. It is based on situation, on events, on people, on places, on things, on thoughts. Just like what the video. The video give a metaphor that when you start chasing after happiness, it's like chasing after a piece of paper. It flies and it flew by circumstances, by the wind. When you start chasing after these things, these external things, it will not last. And so it's time to stop. Stop chasing after happiness. It is time for people to go and find joy. Happiness is temporary, but joy is not. Happiness sometimes is just pure luck. You're lucky. You got a lucky draw. You feel happy. But how long? How long will your lucky draw, a TV, some prizes, how long will that happiness last? Today, it is very clear that we should not be chasing and trying to attain happiness, but joy. Because joy is eternal. It is internal and eternal, and it comes from within. It's something that is inside you. Joy is not in the things. Joy is in us. It will be lasting. And there will be a meaning in joy, because joy came from within, and it is in sync with the values that we have in us. It's like, when you wake up in the morning and you're going to work, is it true that sometimes, and most of the time, maybe for some of us, as we wake up and as we prepare ourselves to go to work, we like, how I wish today is a holiday. How I wish that, because it was not a good experience. You probably imagine your boss nagging at you. Probably imagine that there's a very heavy load of work waiting, piling out on the table. But what if you wake up in the morning and knowing that your work, the work that you're going to do, is in line with your values, and that it is your passion, it is in line with your value. Tell me, will you be like dragging your feet to the work? No, you'll be like, wow, because there's joy. Joy comes from within and is in sync with your values. Happiness depends on things that's happening. Joy depends on us. And that is so important. With that is so important, because that means that all of us can have joy, because joy is inside us. We just have to learn to how to get in touch with that joy inside us. Because happiness is something that we receive from happenings, from things outside, external. If we understood this concept, if we understand this concept, joy is for you to claim. However, there are two joy stealers. They stole our joy away in the past. The first stealer, comparison. The joy is in us. It's naturally in us. We have it when we are a child. It is in us. The childlikeness in us. There's joy. And then we start to compare. And we put in comparison into the equation. What happened? We begin to see things. We begin to compare successes. We begin to compare achievement. We begin to compare different ability and capability of different people that we know. We begin to compare. And then what happened? The ego will be affected. The ego will be affected. The perception will shift from reality to perceive. Why? Because comparison will cause you to overestimate or overvalue what someone has, and underestimate and devalue what you have. When you look at someone's success and say, wow, that is like, wow, it is like a great guru. And then you look at yourself and say, wow, yeah, I can never be that. I'm just so insecure. Your ego is hurting. On the other way around, it could be also that we underestimate somebody, and because we are so overestimate of ourselves, it's like, hey, I'm sure I can do it. I'm sure, and you have no clue. And when something happens, when we fail, we start blaming something else. We start to blame the people around us. We start to blame the situation. We start to blame something, but accept ourselves. Our ego was raised, but it was raised with a wrong perception. That's why it's so important that we need to get comparison away from the equation. Just because someone has something that you do not have or different from you, it does not make him or her better or more blessed than you. No, it does not. Today, comparison is the thief of joy. We need to really get comparison out of the equation. What are some of practicals? Today, identify your own insecurities and weaknesses, because these are the areas that you're prone to compare. So it's important to know what are your weaknesses and insecurity that coming from, because this will help you to understand that. Make a list of your accomplishment, achievement, blessing, things that you love about yourself, and explore a different perspective about you or your situation. What good can come out of this, for example? Look at a different perspective and say, hey, what good can come out of this? Make a list of this. When thoughts of comparison come out, cast them aside, reject the thoughts, get it out of the equation, and replace the negative thought with something positive from the list that you made in number 2. In this way, you'll remove the comparison in your life. The second joy stealer is what I call self-sabotage. This is a picture, a metaphor of our brain, our mind. The top part, the little part that is come out from the surface of the iceberg, represents our conscious mind. The huge part below consists of what we call the subconscious mind. These are the area that is bigger than your conscious mind. These are the subconscious mind, things that we are not aware of. And many things in our life are being run by this subconscious mind. For example, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, you go to the washroom or the toilet, take a toothbrush and toothpaste, and then you brush your teeth. While you're doing all this thing, your mind is probably half asleep, or you're still thinking about the dream you have just now. But you're just brushing your teeth. Where did this action come from? It comes from a subconscious mind. Today there's many of these good things, even memories, good things to learn from experience, like riding a bicycle, brushing your teeth, a skill that you learned, like driving. All these skills and skill set and knowledge and all these even memories, they are stored in the subconscious mind. These are a good thing, but they are also some bad experience, things that happened in the past. It's stored deep down there in the subconscious mind. And when the conscious mind, was being triggered, immediately triggered back to this subconscious mind and something came out. For example, a boy who'd been growing up being nagged by the mother. He has grown up being nagged at. And when he grew up and became an adult and get married, and then his wife nagged at him more than normal for one day, suddenly he just feel triggered, and it's like he just throw a temper, raise his voice. He just don't feel good about it. And all these things happen within moment, without the consciousness of the man. And he will just fight back or you know, and throw some words at his wife. Why? Because he was triggered by something deep in the subconscious mind. And these are the things that I call saboteur. They are saboteur that they are being triggered to sabotage our life. And so it's very important for us to take captive of our thoughts. And don't let all these things come and destroy against our value and against our goodness. We need to, triggers happen when we want to change our life. Into the crisis, and we say, hey, we want to become a champion. We want to make changes in our life. But it won't be easy. There's effort involved. The saboteur will be triggered. The saboteur will be triggered because it wants to protect us. It wants to keep us in the comfort zone. Because making changes, transforming, it needs us to go out and step into the uncomfortable zone. The saboteur triggers. When I was young, I grew up in a family where my parents raising me up in a way that is a lot of nagging, scolding, no praises or any compliment. That gave me a sense of feeling lousy most of the time. This sense of lousiness is hidden deep inside me. And whenever I saw people around me, my classmates, my colleagues, or even my peers, I see the success, I see the competency, I see the ability, and then I compare secretly, internally, with my not good enough. The sense of lousiness. Soon this become a habit. A habit that I constantly live with. Today, I need to learn to take away the comparison from the equation. And just being myself. I'm unique. I'm who I am. Yes, I have my weaknesses, I have my strength, but that make me who I am. Yes, my weaknesses, I think I can change. I need to grow and strengthen my weaknesses. But those are naturally mine. And that make me special, and I don't have to compare with anybody out there. And by removing the comparison, I'm removing the not, because I don't have to compare whether I'm better or not. And when I remove the I am not good enough, I remove the not, I become I am enough. And that is what we all have to do. Today we talk about joys. Joy is something that really comes from within. It's not based on something outside. I heard a story. There was a boy whose family was very wealthy. One day, his father took him on a trip to the countryside, where he aimed to show his son how poor people live. So they arrived to a farm of a very poor family. As the father considered, they spent there several days. On their return, the father asked his son, "Did you like the trip?" Oh, it was a great trip, Dad. The boy replied joyfully. "Do you notice how those people live?" "Yeah, I did," the boy said. The father puzzled and asked his son to tell in more details about his impression of the trip. The son said joyfully, "Wow, we have only one dog and they have 4 of them. In our garden, there's a pool, while they have a river that has no end. We got expensive lantern and lamps, but they have stars above their heads at night. We have a balcony or a palto, but they have a whole horizon. We have only a small piece of land, while they have endless fields. We buy food, but they grow them. We have high fence for protection of our property. They don't need it. They have their friends to protect them." The father was stunned. He could not say a word. You see, the boy looked at things in a different perspective. The boy sees things differently. He's not here to compare. He's here to enjoy, and he saw everything. He enjoying the trip. Now today, in conclusion, we talk about the 5 characteristics of a growth mindset. In terms of challenge, it is important for us to start to have a personal relationship with joy. The joy is in you, the childlikeness in you. Remember when you are young and you wake up and you're so excited because you are alive. When you wake up and you take a breath of fresh air, you're like, wow, and there's joy. Remember when you're out there, you're going for a trip and you look at the incredible scenery and you're like, wow, you're like amazed with it, and there's such a joy that wow up in you. Now, start to have this personal relationship with that joy. In terms of setback, don't let the saboteur, that self-sabotage you and make you to have a brand of who you are when you are really you are not. Thirdly, the efforts. You need to put away comparison in life, because comparison in the equation will hurt and give you a wrong perception of your I or the ego. Fourthly, feedback. Get a mentor, get a coach to come and help you so that you can be able to articulate what's going on in your life and to discover your values and to discover the inner joy. Find out the inner leader so that the inner leader and the allies will be able to guide you and keep you accountable to be the authentic you and do not have to compare. And finally, it's important for our community, a tech teams, a team that we can really encourage and help one another. This is what I want to share about joy. And I hope that you have this joyful character, because it doesn't really matter how hard the crisis you're going through. We can still live joyfully. To end note, I have seen and I have visited some old elderly on the sick bed as they're dying, as they're surrounded by the family and their loved one, as he know that he's going to leave this earth. Be it whether whatever religion he is, he know that he's going back to the source or back to the maker. And there's joy in there because it's just like, wow, I completed my race. I live a life that's fulfilled. We need to be that better person, because that type of person is a champion in crisis. Let us all learn to build this character of joy in us that nobody can ever steal it away. Thank you. See you next time.